It won't let me show my face. So, oh, is this still not resolved? I thought this was resolved. Okay, well, I wasn't gonna do too much back end today, but I have about 20 minutes. So we'll see how far we can get. Because it threw off a crazy error. That I'm gonna go back here. And because Claude has the worst context windows of all of them, basically like by far, I have to piecemeal this thing together. Oh, I thought I already did this. I didn't do this already? That's my bad. I thought I already... Laptop. This is why I really do need... I had this open because someone had said that you can do something recently. This work trees. I had never heard of it. And I've been looking to figure out how I can use Anthropic more, so... especially because when you use the API, Anthropic is API driven, so when you use the API, it loves you. Wrong, my friend. I have a package. Oh. Didn't redeploy. Okay. I gotta remember all this stuff. Again, was not planning on doing a lot of back end. But honestly, it's the last part. Like, I understand why people said that front end is a little bit, maybe not more interesting, but especially easier to navigate and manage. And I thought it was in my git ignore. I'm not going to pull up my git ignore because it could have some things in there that I don't want you to see. So I'm not going to do that, but I guess, yeah, it does need to update git ignore. Okay, did that. That's fine. And then I thought I did this. I could have sworn I did this already. Yeah, that's what I thought. However, I didn't do npm. I already did that. Do I need to? Maybe it didn't go to my package lock. Okay, so this should already be. Why am I not on the? See again. Why am I not on the current version of OpenAI? It should have been. It should have been on the current version. So what happened there? Rebuild. There we go. Good night. Okay, moving on. Well, I'm going to have to come back to that in a second, but not right now. So I am going to start a new chat because Claude is ridiculous. And I believe it's probably why, I believe what's happening is that Claude is trying to push you towards using the API. It's more of an API-driven product. I didn't know that before, but with Claude Code and all these other things, which speaking of, I got to see if my credits came in because I would love to use it for a, but then it's like, why did I get the, no, $100. Settings, question mark, billing, is my $50 in there? I should have a credit for $50 that I cannot find. It makes me wonder if they actually just like didn't do it. Because oh, developer console. Sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Can't type. Anthropic console. This is where it would be. Because I have done some stuff in here. No, billing, $50? 55. All right, let's go. Okay, so when I build this thing called quarter chats, I am going to use those free credits. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to waste them. And I want to actually see how far it'll take. Still crashed. Bro, come on. What are we doing here? Did it crash on the build? Nope, build is fine. Yep, took the OpenAI piece. I didn't worry about it, but I did kind of wonder since it was like, hey, you're using a new version of OpenAI. And I thought I already had the new version of OpenAI. So I was wondering where the 4.0 came from. It might mean I have to like reconfigure some of the code on the back end if OpenAI changed their API documentation, which would change, which if I'm working off of past information, yeah. Deploy logs. It could mean that I actually have my code pointing to the wrong places. But my package JSON shouldn't be using that. It should be using 4.94. So I wonder if it didn't go to my package lock, which I learned the hard way that those need to match. So I'm assuming that that is exactly what happened. My package lock is different from, oh, nope, it's the same. What is going on? Why are you doing this? Is my package, okay, so, yeah, the problem is, so I'm also running something in Gemini that you cannot see on a different screen. And it's kind of going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Okay, so what happened? 4.9, which is correct for our code. The issue might be, let's create a, what? That's not good. anytime, okay, so this happened with browser base, which is why we moved into hyperbrowser. Anytime that things aren't compatible, it's like one of those troubleshooting things that someone who is technical would easily be able to do. But since I am not technical, since I am not technical, hold on 1 second. Since I am not technical, it makes things a little bit harder because I can't easily troubleshoot this stuff. NPM RC. I can't easily troubleshoot this stuff myself. So like someone could probably just quickly do this without the need of Claude or ChatGPT, and it would make my life so much easier if I could just go ahead and do that. However, I cannot. So what? So something that would probably be really easy to do for a technical person ends up being something that's really confusing for me. And so, that also plays into the fact that Claude has a small context window. So I'm trying to like not really give my full, not putting my like full learner's hat, because I would be asking ChatGPT like, what is the npm rc file? Why doesn't it have a name? Like all of these things I would be doing to just simply learn. And I think that's been tricky about Claude is like it has been really good for me so far. Now it's getting tricky. It's not working immediately. But it has been really good at just solving the problems quickly, whereas like ChatGPT could not do it as quickly. However, on the downside of that is it doesn't explain a lot because you have such short context windows. Like you can just see this right here. Long chats cause you to reach your usage limits faster. It's not, okay, I keep saying that wrong. They do have small context windows, but their usage limits are lower. So it's two things at once. If you're going to have short context windows, you should have longer usage limits or like higher. And so the fact that it's doing both at the same time really makes things a bit, see, it keeps crashing. What is going on? I don't like how it's like trying to force. Okay, I'm gonna go to here. What does it mean when Railway is saying OpenAI is not a constructor? Because I honestly have no idea what that means. Not even a little bit. These are the exact same. Oh, it just puts these brackets in here. Did you catch that? Claude? Okay. Nah, it's just saying that. Let's do a pit these against each other. see what it says. Also, the worst thing about is that you can't. You have to. It's all new chats. I think that's also kind of ridiculous. Can I just use Sonnet, the old Sonnet? Can I just? And I like to like needle it a little bit from Chat GPT about the code you wrote for my OpenAI API call on a backend deploy. Okay, so I'm going to take that, and then I'm also going to go the other way. But like, why didn't you say this before? So now I'm going to take that over because now it's starting to piss me off. Not piss me off, just not really make any sense of why things are happening the way that they are currently happening. Because it should understand what's happening. So it was just saying the wrong thing. So that was in my article processor. Did I not have that in there? Did I just burn a... Oh yeah, right here. Oh my gosh, I could have put that in there. Yikes. This is doing what I asked it to do and actually building the entire thing. But yeah, no, that's gonna kill my usage. Look, there it is, the little mini brackets. Now I know. Oh, you gotta update the server.js file as well. See, that's where I would have gotten beat, because I would have said, wait, I uploaded one thing. Okay, well, I'll continue this on the background. I think the kid is here, or is probably getting close in the next few minutes or so. So I gotta run. See ya. I was wrong. Kid's not here yet. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep trying to push forward. Also, Gemini, I was doing a deep research project, and I mean like layered deep, like multiple deep researches on top of each other. Lost the entire content history. It literally wiped. I mean, I had it run 3 reports, wiped all 3 of them, and I think it's because they separated deep research out of Gemini 2.5 Pro. And by disengaging them from one another, I completely lost all the deep research reports it had, and it was doing 3 of them. And so I have to do all of those all over again. That is incredibly frustrating. And that is kind of what happens when you're building on the fringes of this stuff. Like, they move one thing and it changes. I don't know if you guys remember the last couple videos ago, I signed up for Claude in the first place. And for for the first 7 hours, it didn't work. It had a complete shutdown of the network. For the next about 48 hours, I was able to use it with a lot of usage. Then that went to crap. And I went, what is happening? And then 3 days after that, they launched a $100 and a $200 tier, which makes sense why they would basically throttle the $20 tiers. So I essentially paid $20 for a 40% effective like tool. And I was so excited because when I was using those first 48 hours, I was like, oh my gosh, it's catching all the things that Chat GPT didn't catch. And now it's like, you know, you use it for a couple of hours. You use it for like, not even a couple of hours. You use it for maybe like 45 minutes to an hour straight. And it is like, you have to wait another 5 hours. And that's really kind of annoying that they don't just have an all-in at least ChatGPT has the lever pulls. Like if you think of it as a jackpot machine, it'll say, hey, you have 10 deep researches this month, or you have 100 O1 searches this month. Like Claude just says 5 to 20x usage more for $100. It's like, I don't know what that means. What is 5 to 10x usage? Is that unlimited usage? If I am kind of coding with it, like does the 200 one doesn't even say unlimited. So if I pay $200, do I get unlimited? No, it doesn't say that. It says 100x, and I was like, okay, this is so confusing. And I think they do it on purpose because no one knows how much compute can scale, and they also don't know how much compute will cost over time, especially, hold on, 245. Oh, it reduced. I always check this just in case. I just want to just self-check itself. Processor JS by almost 100 lines of code. This is what you gave me before. Again, this is a waste of usage when I already have lower limits than I used to. But however, it's what you got to do to make sure your code's right. So I usually use this heavily, then I go to ChatGPT, Gemini, and kind of go back and forth. Okay, so all that, and I need to change anything except for put this, is that right? And then this, and space. Is that how you did that? Looks like it. Okay, and see, and this is something that ChatGPT caught this. So you see what I mean? Like they are just all kind of they're just all kind of better than each other in little ways. This is my current server.js file. Here, I just want to see if it's just a bracket issue or if it was more. Okay, the last time I tried to change something, this is very important. The last time I tried to change something, I changed the wrong thing and I disrupted a function that was being called. And I never want to do that again. So sometimes when it gives me a long list of things that it changed, I then I just trust it as long as the code is matches a little bit. That first one with the article processor.js, it was 100 lines of code off, like give or take 20. So it was 80 to 120 lines of code off, and so I knew that felt weird. But more often than not, if the code lines up, like this one was 116 for 116, I just go ahead and trust it because it's faster sometimes when you are coding with this type of stuff to just take its word for it, because trying to decipher what like it's processing and everything can get tricky when you are at the idea stage, because you're essentially sacrificing speed for being accurate. And when you're just testing out ideas, trying to find something that people might pay for, that people might be interested in, sometimes you just need it to work. And right now, it is simply not working. It just crashed again, as you can see. So we're going to keep doing this until we figure out what's going on, which is kind of a shame. So it's also a shame that you can't just switch back and forth. Like, if I want to use the old sonnet, I got to go backwards. 506. So it needs to say 506 before I know that it's... Okay, it's going to take a while. So I have to go... So I need to go backwards. So sometimes... this is crazy. I don't know quite what to do because eventually I'm going to run out of usage. And then I'm kind of stuck for a few hours. Unless I want to risk pulling in... What if I could pull in Gemini? Let's just go up a bit and see if Gemini can process all of this. Probably can't, but you never know. So we're going to try. Okay. Here is an excerpt of the conversation I've been having with Claude to fix my backend deployment issue. Did it actually keep all of that? Oh, it did. Wow. I heard it had a large context window. I'm not surprised, but it's just kind of surprising. Okay, can I get the current logs? It crashed 3 minutes ago. I hope you can give me those. Tell me what just happened. It still cannot. Which means that, was it a build issue or... Oh, this says the deployment was successful. This says it was definitely not successful. This said the build worked, which means it's the deploy log. Okay, there we go. Again, issues with OpenAI. I keep going here until I run out because I'm about to have to leave in a second. Although they're running late, so I wonder when they're gonna get here. Railway deployment logs. What? What do you mean it hasn't been properly deployed? No. Oops. Oh, gotta run. See y'all.